Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi. Today, I'm very excited because we have a very special guest today. She is part of our podcast community. She has her own show on our channel, and she is just an amazing individual who speaks on a lot of different topics pertaining to happiness and self-improvement and learning how to improve your life overall in all areas. And she's here today to talk about happiness, how to bring happiness into your life and how to improve your life and all the different components that make up the word happiness. Are they in your life? Are you practicing them? What are they? And she's going to tell you all about that. And she's going to tell you ways to make you yourself happy, both inside, in your heart, and overall. So when people look at you, they see that glow, they see that happiness, that shine, and you feel it in your heart as well. And that's the way it should be. So she's going to tell you how you can make changes in 2025 that are going to make you feel like an amazing person. So Elizabeth, it is always a pleasure to have you on the show. I just love when you come on. You are just a ball of joy. And today I'm so glad you're going to be talking about happiness and how to bring happiness into your life and the components that make up happiness that everybody should have in their life. But before we begin, can you tell everybody a little about yourself and what made you, be so passionate about happiness?
Certainly. Thank you, Stacey. Thank you for having me on again. And yes, I thought I had a very happy life. I had four healthy, happy children and a wonderful marriage. And then I got a bit of a shock happening in a few years ago where my marriage fell apart and I had no warning. And I went into a spin, like a roller coaster spin of emotions, dark emotions, shock, sadness, disbelief, victim mentality, every possible dark emotion you can imagine. And then I thought to myself, well, because I'd really lost myself in the roles of looking after my four children and looking after my husband, and I'd unknowingly forgotten about me over a quarter of a century. It was 25-year marriage,
Yeah.
and when I realized that the children were all adults and my husband was no longer my husband, I thought, well, at the beginning, I thought I'd lost my reason for being because they had been my life
Yeah.
for 25 years. And so then I realized that divorce is so common, and I started to work out how to get myself out of the mud, how to get myself up back into the bouncy me that I knew.
Right.
And so I started to write down um, things, and I was exploring different modalities. I was traveling to India to ashrams. I was really going full focus on trying to work out what would work to get me feeling good.
Right.
And so I did my training in Kundalini yoga, went did self-help workshops. I was reading everything I could find. And then I realized that I really needed to help my friends around me and people who were coming to me because they were realizing that I was getting through it. And
Yeah.
then my book organically grew. So my book is a book about how to feel good fast. Well, there's no real quick fix, but my book is written in a way that no matter how bad your life situation may be, whether it's a relationship problem, a financial problem, or a health problem,
Right.
maybe some people unfortunately have all three,
Yes.
how those problems or those obstacles, which they are, can be opportunities. They can be opportunities to bounce you into abundance and much more happiness than you can ever imagine.
Right.
It's just a matter of being able to look at it, and with the tools and tips in my book,
Yes.
free and first, unlocking your ultimate life. There's tools and tips to work you through and to lift you up. So it's really a matter of focus and determination. And sometimes I would step back and I'd have a really bad day, and then so it'd be 3 steps back and 1 step forward. But if we can sign on that we deserve, and it's our birthright to be happy. It's
Yes.
our birthright to be happy and abundant and free. So we're much more than this body. We're a sovereign being,
Yes.
and we just once we start remembering that we are worthy to have our needs met. And then I have so many tools in my book, but I don't know where to start really with talking about them. But what do you think? What's the best way?
Well, when I think of happiness, I think of so many people struggle with happiness, especially around the holidays or sometimes around birthdays, or sometimes people have just had a lot of struggles in their life. There's many reasons why people lack happiness in their life, and everybody has their own story and has their own journey in life that has led them to a certain time. But we all go through moments in our life where that happiness sometimes evaporates, and
Mm,
we're like, why am I here? Why
mm,
am I feeling like this? It's not
mm,
fair. Look at that person's happy, but why am I
mm,
not happy? When you're
mm.
looking to bring happiness back into your life, what would you say the first step is? Like, what do we need to start doing if we are not feeling happy and we're waking up with that feeling of "Ugh, another day, but we want to be happy. We see other people happy. It's like, why can't I be like that person? What's step one for you? What did you find most effective in the beginning? This first step to happiness.
Okay, well, Stacey, first I must say that I'm not a health professional,
Oh,
so
right. No.
people, so like if you are feeling really down, speaking to a health professional, a therapist is maybe the best for you. But for me, I can only speak from my experience.
Right.
And in the early days, I had my go-to list. I had a go-to list on the fridge and near my toothbrush, and it when I went into, I had a trigger, it would be Christmas time, and we were usually following the traditions of doing certain things as a
Yeah.
family of 6, and I'd be triggered and feel all alone, feel um, abandoned, rejected, and why me?
Yeah.
I'd have a list of things to actually just pick me up instantly,
Hmm.
to get me out of bed. So whether that was, well, silly things, the sillier we can be, the better.
Yeah.
Children play and they do silly things. So whether it was just skipping to get my coffee,
Yeah.
or cutting flowers in the street. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Just taking that favorite flower and pinching it off and
Yeah.
putting it in a vase of water, or just the simple things to actually bring you back into your presence rather than in our thoughts.
Right.
Because what I've learned is that when we're feeling yuck, when we're
Hmm.
not feeling good, we are not present. If we're fully present, we can't be feeling the awful thoughts. It's usually when we're thinking unconsciously, often,
Yes.
of the past, the regret, the shame, the blame, the judgment, the sadness, the guilt, all the yucky stuff,
Yeah.
about, oh, I could have, would have, should have, blah, goes on, the story, the drama, and we go
Yeah.
into the drama consciously or unconsciously. And what does it do for us? It pulls us down into the well, into
Yes.
the dark, deep well.
Yes.
Whereas, and also if we go into the future, consciously or unconsciously, what am
Right.
I going to do now? I'm not going to have a job. I don't know where my house is going to be. I don't know when I'm going to see my children. All that is going to drive our vibe down. So
Yeah.
we need to come and power up in the present. We need to power up like we charge our mobile phone every night. We need to power up our energy, our vibe by coming, oh, gosh, I'm feeling awful. I must be consciously or unconsciously thinking thoughts, emotions tied to the past, the future. I'm going to come into the present and power up,
Right.
because well, I haven't read the book, I haven't read any books on this, but as you lift your vibe, you would naturally attract higher vibe people and higher vibe opportunities into your life.
Yes.
So the trick is, do what you can. Take that 10 minutes to do something silly, dance to a silly song on the radio,
Yeah.
have a bubble bath, ring a friend that uplifts you, grab all your supportive friends, toss out the ones that are not supportive, who want to hang in the drama. The
Yeah.
drama is driving us down, and being in the present and following our joy
Mhm.
is lifting us up.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's so true. That's so, and I think it's so important to be around people that have positive vibes, people who, will lift us up, and people who will really want to elevate to higher levels in their life, emotionally, physically, mentally, monetarily, whatever their goals are, but people who are thriving to be better, to really get the best out of life they possibly can. Those are the people that we want to surround ourselves with. I think that's so important.
And I suppose, and then the second thing, so the first thing is, yes, try and bring joy into your life, and no matter how, be creative about it, and you only know what makes you happy, because everyone's got different ideas of what brings them joy.
Yes.
But the second thing is, we get so busy with our lives that, on the life hamster wheel, with our families, with our work, is
Mhm.
that we have to be authentic with how we feel. It's no good us sort of keep looking at Facebook and seeing all those smiley faces and going, "Oh, I'm happy," and because if we don't feel how we feel, we don't allow those heavy emotions to feel acknowledged, allowed, and to somewhat extent accepted, that that's how I feel right now. And
Right.
that's the trick. We have to, if we don't, in my book I talk about the ABC of me. We
Yeah.
don't acknowledge, allow, accept how we feel. These feelings, these heavy feelings hold us down. They hold us down. So we can go, oh no, I'm not happy, I'm not angry, I'm not angry. And you're sort of simmering with anger inside, which will keep you from taking that hot air balloon up
Yes.
into more happiness. So therefore, the second thing we need to do is actually take some time out to reset and to feel how we feel,
Mhm.
and um, and then work out what boundaries we need, and then following through with a good communication of the boundaries. So
Right.
that's the ABC: acknowledging, B, boundaries, C, communication of the boundaries, and then we're free. Sounds easy, but we have to be able to have that self-esteem and that confidence to go, oh yes, I do matter.
Yeah.
I do matter. I can stand up and put me first, because if we don't put ourselves first, our vibe will go down the plug hole with our vibe, and
Yes.
then we're giving that, radiating that lower vibe out to our children, out to our friends.
Yes.
So if everyone can actually be putting themselves first, then we can radiate more light
Right.
and assist our families and friends after we've assisted ourselves first.
Yes. 100%. 100%.
Mm.
Now, what else would you think is, because you mentioned there were several things that we could do. What would be step 3?
Okay, so the first one, the immediate one when you're feeling down is just as we've said, to have your go-to list.
Yes.
So number two is to feel into your feelings, the ABC of me, and apply that. With setting boundaries and following through. Now, there's lots of other. The obvious ones are, well, maybe not obvious to everyone, but to actually have some exercise, encourage those happy endorphins,
Yes.
and choose an exercise that brings you joy. I often hear,
Yes.
"Oh, I'm going to the gym." Oh, that's good. Oh, wonderful. I'm going to the gym. I go, well, I'm very blessed because I break up and I feel into what my body needs. And I go, is it a yoga class? Is it jumping on my, electric bike? That counts, doesn't it? You don't have to press the button all the time but feeling into what you need.
Right.
Maybe it's a simple walk to the park, walk around the block.
Yes.
Don't anything to actually take you out of your head and your to-do list.
Mhm.
Go, okay, I'm going to put my runners on or sneakers. What do you call them? I don't know what you call them. Sneakers, runners,
Figures, yeah,
and
uh-huh.
I'm just going to go and I'm going to walk for 10 minutes. I don't know where I'm going to walk to. I'm just going to just I'm going to walk for 10 minutes.
Right.
I'm just going to just close my laptop, and I'm not even going to take these things called, what are they called? Earplugs.
Earplugs,
I'm
yeah.
just going to I'm just going to just walk with outside and see what noises and smells and things that I can actually identify, because that's bringing you
Right.
into the now, which we
Yes.
talked about. So on that, exercise is good. Hobbies is another one. Why are hobbies good? Because you've chosen something you enjoy, so you
Right.
get a buzz up. You get a buzz up. You also get a buzz up because you have to be present in a hobby.
Yes.
No matter what you're doing, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if you're stamp collecting or playing chess or whatever. You're present. You're not in your mind,
Exactly.
past or future.
Mhm.
So hobbies are really good. Um, I think we've passed two or three, but the gratitude and forgiveness, I link those two together. I
Yeah.
used to think, oh, forgiveness, I'm going to fake it until I make it, because that's what I'd been told. How can I forgive, the ex for putting me through this challenge,
Yeah.
which became a very big opportunity? How can I forgive him? But it became easier to forgive him when I could realize that he had given me this amazing opportunity to find me, to rediscover me,
Right.
to find, and not only but to actually step up into putting myself first as to what
Yeah.
I wanted to do on this planet. And so I'm very extremely thankful to my husband, because we have four healthy children, and we had so many life experiences together, but there were more to be had, and I'm still having as I find more and more of myself.
Right.
So so on that note, I mean, the more we can uncover and find our authentic self, that's our power. That is absolutely our power, to actually, when we're in our authentic self and meeting our own needs, well, guess what? We're not trying to seek approval and people please other people,
Right.
because we've got our own self-watering system set up. We know how to meet our own needs, and we
Yes.
can say no. We can say no to things that don't bring us joy.
Right.
Hey, actually, this weekend, I don't think I do want to go to three parties back to back. I think I'd
Right.
rather just have time for me. I think I'd
Yeah.
rather just, pick up my favorite food and have a bubble bath and put my music on and do what lifts me up.
Right.
Um, so it's really a matter of feeling into what you need, but we can't do that unless we stop, unless we take time to stop without the noise of life,
Right.
because it's a very noisy life. Um, whether it's the noise of work or family, um, you know, entertaining with friends,
Right.
whatever noise it is. It's just a matter of finding that 10 minutes regularly every day. I mean, if you can
Yeah.
fit 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in at lunchtime,
Right.
um, and then it brings me to the mindful reflection is the meditation. I don't go past a day now with meditation. Did I meditate in the early days? No, it's a relatively new thing for me in this life, but I see meditation. You don't have to be in like a guru in a yogi position. It's To me, meditation is actually giving your mind time to be present. To be present, you can be breathing as a meditation.
Yes.
When you get distracted, you go, oh, I'm not listening to my breathing. I'm not present with my breathing. You bring yourself back into the now.
Yes.
Or walk in the park, feeling the crunch of the leaves, all your senses alive. Oh, I'm present. I'm in meditation,
Yes.
which is, I really think, because you're powering up. And that's the point of a meditation, is to actually stop draining yourself of your energy,
Yes.
and is just to power up in the present.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Mm,
What great advice. And it seems like really one of the main things is really, when you talk about all these different things, it's like finding yourself, letting go of, what you thought you were and really figuring out who you are by focusing
mm,
on the present tense and doing all the things like your go-to list, your ABC of me, exercise and learning forgiveness, gratitude, being in the present and really figuring out who am I today in this present life, and then really appreciating that and really, once I think we figure out who we are and what we represent, I think that changes us and it boasts our self-esteem and it makes us stronger. And it really, I think when I went through a lot of those steps that you were discussing, my self-esteem went up. I realized who I was, and it was no longer a guessing game. It was a new person that I realized I've become over the years as I've gotten older, and I like this person.
mm,
And it was really it was helpful and it really brought happiness to me too. And I think one
mm,
of the main things is like you said, not getting lost in the past or the present, but being, in the future, I mean, but being in the present.
mm. Yes, and I think one thing that you reminded me is that we don't make life a journey, and don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Sometimes, a baby step for my day would have been just to to get out of bed and make it to my coach or my counselor
Yeah.
slash therapist, whatever you want. And so don't think, oh, no, Stacey's looking so bright and happy, and everyone on Facebook's looking bright and happy, and I'm not that. And
Yeah.
don't be hard on yourself. Just take each day, each moment of each day. So break it down, as to what you feel. Start to feel into what you need, and so for each half an hour in the early days, I'd go, okay, well, what do I feel like for this next half hour?
Yes.
Break it down. What am I hungry? Am I absolutely exhausted? Do I need to just flop on my bed and sleep?
Mhm.
You know, just treat yourself, ironically, as as if you were a 5-year-old. You wouldn't go, "Oh, you're not exhausted. Just get back out there. Get back out there and do some more work."
Yeah.
You'd be more compassionate to a 5-year-old child. So try and have that compassion for you,
Yes.
and to actually be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And in the early days, that might be your sort of mantra: I choose to be kind to myself. I choose to put me first, my
Yes.
needs first. Because life can be very challenging, and I think that's you know, we, life's a journey, and if we don't get too serious about it. I know it's easy to, but if we can just find the joy in little things and
Yes.
not get bogged down in the past, the drama. Say goodbye to friends that want to go over and over and over and over the bad things that are happening in your life.
Yes.
The drama. We'll call it the drama.
Yeah.
And allow the fresh breeze of new opportunities and people who lift you up
Yes.
to come in to fill that space.
Oh,
Mm.
100%. So well said. It's so true. It's so true. I feel that it makes a big difference when you apply all the things that you mentioned today into your life. You definitely will see a huge difference. And I always say reward yourself too, like for the
Yeah.
little things, those little things are big things, and, give yourself a bubble bath or, reward yourself with something that makes you happy, each time you've accomplished those little things. Like you said, just getting off the couch, all right, I got
Mm.
off the couch, and give yourself a reward, and, maybe tonight I'll take a bubble bath. I got off the couch, I did this, and now I'm going to reward myself,
Mm.
and I think that, makes you feel good and it feels a sense of achievement. And I think that also could be a momentum to want to keep moving forward too. And,
Mm.
you know, I,
Yes.
I like the things that the different things that you have in your book. And, so you have a second version of this book coming out soon, right? You're working on the second version of it, correct?
Yes, yes, yes. I am it's going to have a bright yellow cover, so it's still got my first painting, because that was the story was when got into my art. I was throwing myself into something that I wanted to try, and I tried to not listen to my thoughts, which were saying, "What do you think you're going to do, Elizabeth? You're just wasting your time. You don't know how to draw. How are you going to paint?" And so I had my painting teacher who had bought my canvas and my paints, and I thought, well, I'll just give it a go, because the more we can just throw ourselves into things and not have expectation and put pressure on ourselves of whether it's going to work out or
Yeah.
not.
Hmm.
A child doesn't go, "Oh, well, I have to have the finger painting class before I learn to finger paint."
Right.
They just hop into the finger painting, and then the mother goes, "This is a masterpiece. This is marvelous finger painting." Because so much love has gone into it, and that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. When we're oozing with love and joy, it changes the whole scheme of things.
Yes.
So it's really a matter of lifting your vibration into more joy and more
Hmm.
light, and letting go of allowing yourself to let go of the heavy emotions that
Yeah.
plug us down.
100%.
So yes.
I love
And
that.
yeah, and yeah. So no, I'm just in. So I do have children's books in the future, hopefully to come, because I've
Wonderful.
with 4 children, and being a primary school teacher, it feels like in another life.
Mhm.
Um, I um, I just like the idea of children being able to. They like to rhyming books and
Yeah.
with illustrations. So ones of children of Australian animals,
Oh, I
and
love that.
introducing kids to Australian animals and how we have to take care of our animals, but in a sort of a fun sort of poem sort of
Yeah.
form. Yes.
Oh, I love
So,
that.
but I have spent a lot of time just doing podcasts and interviews around the world because my passion is to pass on these really simple tools in the form of my book, Free and First, Unlocking Your Ultimate Life, because everyone deserves a happy life.
Yeah.
And these challenges that are coming are actually to help you to lift up into more joy, into more happiness. You don't think so at the time. I agree. I can hear you all. I can hear you, the listeners and the viewers going, no, this is not going to bring me more joy. But you will look back, and if you apply some of the tools and tips that Stacey and has talked about, and I've talked about, you will look back and go, I see. This challenge happened because it catapulted me into finding me.
Yeah.
because it's very easy. You can lose yourself not only in your children, you can lose yourself in work, you can lose yourself in a relationship, you can lose yourself in an addiction.
Yes.
And what it is when we're losing ourselves because we don't want to feel how we feel.
Right.
And it's sort of like we don't want to feel, so we think, I think I'll just have another champagne and I'll
Yeah.
be happy. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. Then you'll have another, but it really just masks how you feel. And those little grumpy, sad feelings are still inside of us.
Yeah.
So those grumpy, sad feelings will continue to plug us down and pop up when we don't want them to.
Yeah.
If we don't allow them, accept them, acknowledge them, and so that they can actually be processed to be moved on.
Yes.
You can process them more easily with art therapy, like with doing something creative. Therapy doesn't have to be painting or writing,
Right.
like journaling. We talk about journaling, so I think psychologists will talk about, journal your feelings,
Right.
get them down, because it actually helps process them to lift, to allow them to move on, so they're not holding you back.
Right.
But we also do it when we're doing something creative, because we're actually, anything that keeps you present is helping to process and move on heavy feelings.
Yeah.
But if we're going into, as we said, the past or the future, we're often energizing the bad energy.
Yeah. If you had to take our conversation today and you wanted to emphasize on some important factors, what are some of the things that you'd really like to emphasize to the listeners today?
So number one, when you're feeling not good, do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do something about it. Whether that is make a appointment with your therapist, or you're on your list of 10 to go to list near your fridge, or near your toothbrush.
Mm-hmm.
Do something about it. Lift yourself up. And then the second thing is to buy my book. You can get it. Online. It's just so easy on Amazon, and
Mm-hmm.
you can get it in digital form. That's what I was trying to say. So if you don't want to, it's not a bulky book, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a very straightforward book, but it will give you tools and tips that you can apply straight away in your life. But so that besides the to-do list is to take time out every day, every single day, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes, say at lunch, and 10 minutes before you go to bed, to stop and to feel how you feel and acknowledge how you feel. Acknowledge, okay, I feel really angry. Okay, what can I do with that anger? Yes, I can hold it inside of me. Don't think that's a really good decision, because it
Right.
just keeps you down. I can have a road rage situation
Mm-hmm.
and create a big bomb of negative energy.
Right.
Maybe not good.
Yeah.
Or I could take Elizabeth's tool, the ABC of me, and have an empowered conversation, to not around about talking to my mates
Right.
about that person, but directly with my boss, directly with my spouse, directly with my partner, directly with my child.
Hmm.
Hey, I feel X when you do Y.
Yeah.
What can we, what, and because they can't argue with how you feel. Oh, you
Right.
don't feel that. You don't feel that. Yes, I do. I feel this.
Right.
So perhaps next time this happens, I don't condone your behavior, and this is what I need, and I I should be respected for this need. If I'm
Yes.
not, well, we'll have to, look at something different, whether
Right.
that's severing a relationship or modifying it or whatever it may be in the circumstance. But
Right.
the ABC, and to be able to speak up takes a lot of courage, a lot of vulnerability. And so in
Mhm.
my book, there's a whole chapter on learning how to speak up, so as we can meet our needs and be free.
Yes.
We can be free. We can just take the reins of our life, be the leader of our life once we are the master of our mind.
Exactly.
So it takes us a whole chapter on, you could call it self-care or whatever we want to call it. It's a very important chapter because, it's not being selfish to put yourself first. That may be what most people I had to get used to, because you feel, we're so programmed often, to put ourselves last.
Yeah.
I've got my kids. Oh no, but I really want to support my husband, or I want to support I want to support my friends, and you have to fill your cup first.
Yes.
It doesn't work otherwise.
Right.
It's like the stewards on the plane.
Hmm.
Put your mask on before you help others.
Right.
If it's the only way,
A
the
hundred
only way.
percent.
So yes, so following your joy, working on self care so as you can have those empowered conversations, taking the time each day to stop and feel into your feelings and put boundaries in place and keep adjusting those boundaries. Those boundaries might, one boundary today might not be the boundary tomorrow. You
Right.
know, keep feeling into how you feel, because our lives are dynamic. Everything's, in motion. You
Yes.
know, people, feelings, everything's changing. And so
Hmm.
we have to be adaptable and flexible enough to know, oh well, I felt okay yesterday, but today no, I don't.
Yeah.
It's a different day. I woke up and this is how it is. And well, I'm going to really feel into, I'm going to take that time out of my busyness. I'm going to feel into what, some people say what my inner child is wanting.
Right.
What my true emotion, what's the truth of
Yeah.
how what I need.
I love it.
So yes.
That's
So I
wonderful.
hope that's
Oh, it does. It does. I think that those are great takeaways. I really do. And what are some of the services that you provide?
so I am the best thing to do is to hop on my website, elizabethjane.com.au, and I must admit I don't go onto Facebook or Instagram. So I have a wonderful lady, Tess, who puts up all my radio interviews. Radio interviews usually only go for about half 10 minutes, and podcasts around the world. So I've been doing podcasts. Thankfully, at this stage, I'm a guest on other people's podcasts rather than having to do the hard work that Stacey has with having her own podcast, because I think that's very much it has its own challenges. And
Mhm.
so I really enjoy. So everything is on my Instagram and my Facebook, which can be accessed through my website, elizabethjane.com.au, as well as my book, of course, and all future books. but my interviews and podcasts are all focusing on lifting our lives, so as we can fully step into our authentic power.
I
Because
love
it's
it.
really just once we can actually tap into our truth
Hmm.
and and hold true on our truth,
Yes.
well, then our life becomes our own, and that's when the magic starts to happen.
Yes. 100%.
Mm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This has been amazing, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I just
Um,
love, the topic you chose, and you provided so much valuable information, because there's so many people out there that really want to experience their authentic selves, and they want to be happy, and they want to move on in life. And, sometimes that could be very difficult. And I love how your book breaks it up and makes it very, into simplistic terms, so people can work on themselves and really see, a vast change in their overall selves over time. So I just want to say thank you so much. You took something from your own life that was truly a hard moment in your own life. You overcame it. You rose above those obstacles, and now you're helping others. So, thank you so much for sharing your story and then showing people how to overcome hardships in their life.
Oh, well, thank you, Stacey. Thank you for having me on, and I'll be back. And yes, hopefully, maybe with another book. But whatever your listeners and viewers need, I'll be back to see you.
Oh, I look forward to it. Well, you have a great day.
Okay, thank you.